Good morning. It's week 10, and we are about 5 weeks from the end of the semester. So it's about time you started working on your teaching and tutoring portfolio. This is one of the major requirements in this course. As you know from the course syllabus, it's about 30% of your total grade in this course. And why? Because it's one of the important things that any one of you who's going to apply for teaching positions, full-time teaching positions, you will be required to submit a teaching portfolio of some sort. So I'm trying here to cover much, excuse me, many of the material that you'll be asked to include in your teaching portfolio. And then I have some suggestions here for you in the assignment sheet on what you need to add as you move on in your teaching career. So generally speaking, a teaching portfolio is just a showcase of your work as a teacher, your teaching philosophy, how you design syllabus, what others say about your teaching. So this is just to show others that I'm a good teacher. I know what I'm doing. People, including like my supervisors, my peers, my students, say good things about my teaching. The goal here is to demonstrate your philosophy of teaching, writing, your knowledge, and your pedagogical practices. This will be showcased or demonstrated in different pieces in the portfolio. I don't expect, or any portfolio reader doesn't expect to get all that in one document. So that's why we have multiple documents included in the portfolio. Another important goal is to showcase your strength and achievements as a teacher to your prospective or current employer. This is very important. If you are competing in the job market, then you want to stand out. You want to show everybody that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm a good teacher. I have my strength. I have my achievements. I have good training. I know the theories of my field. I know what I'm doing. So this is very important that you weave in your teaching philosophy, you weave in the theory and the pedagogy that we have discussed in this course, or that you'll continue to develop as you move on with your teaching career. Your audience, generally speaking, for almost everybody in this course, with the exception of one person that I'm going to mention in a minute, you will be targeting your prospective employers. Imagine that you are applying for a full-time teaching position, and this is part of the requirement. So you need to put together a good teaching portfolio that shows everybody that I'm a good teacher. For Angela, this is different for you because you're not applying for full-time teaching positions, as far as I know. But think of your audience here as university higher administration. If you are applying for promotion to be a senior lecturer in a few years, if you are applying to one of the teaching awards at AUM, so how are you going to showcase your strength, your knowledge, your achievements as a teacher? Okay, so, and as I said a minute ago, this is going to be the starting portfolio. This is not going to be the once and for all portfolio. Portfolios by nature are evolving pieces. So as you move on, you'll start taking out pieces, adding others that are more sophisticated, more complex. You will revise your teaching philosophy, as I'm going to say and address in a minute. And then when you start teaching, actually, you will start adding your peer observation reports. Like, for example, Angela and GTAs this semester, or normally in any academic year, they get observed. Their classes get observed formally by one instructor or professor from the department. And then they write them a letter or a report. This report is signed by the observer, and then you can include it in your portfolio in the future. Student evaluation of instruction reports, the student evaluation that we all complete at the end of any given semester. Then you can start adding these reports to your teaching portfolio, especially highlighting the comments that students say about your teaching, how good you are, how organized you are, how much they have learned in your class. If you've received any emails from colleagues and or students acknowledging your work, telling you how good you are, how much they have learned in your class, praising you on something good that you've done for the class, for the department, for the university that you're working at. Make sure that you include this as well to support your case that you are a good teacher. Now, let's move to the portfolio contents. Teaching philosophy, Statement of Teaching Philosophy, or STP. This is one of the most important documents in your portfolio, especially if you are applying for a job to people who have no idea who you are, people who don't know you personally, people who haven't sat in your class or observed your teaching or have interacted with you to know who you are as a teacher. So this is very important to articulate your teaching philosophy. For a novice teacher, I don't expect anything longer than 1 page single-spaced. Please don't make it any longer than that. In job applications, anything that's longer than a page, just like it's frowned upon and people don't read it. People don't have time to read it. Imagine that a committee has to read about 70 or 80 applications. So definitely nobody has time to read more than 1 page. This is for novice teachers only. However, for PhD students, for tenure line or full-time professors, this is normally around 2 pages single-spaced. And you'll see that in the example that I uploaded to Blackboard. Think of your STP as a clear articulation of teaching writing. What you think of teaching writing, how you understand teaching writing, what theories inform your teaching. Don't include citations, just mention the theory, okay? And normally people who are reading this can understand what you're talking about. How your teaching practices embody or represent these theories. And this is where you need to give concrete examples. For example, when you talk about collaborative learning, what did you do in your class? Either as a GTA or a non-teaching student this semester, for example, that talks about collaborative learning and collaborative writing. What did you do to put students together in good peer review groups and designing maybe a peer review sheet for them? If you're talking about transfer and reflection that we dedicated a lot of time to talk about, what did you do in your class to address that? Give concrete example from one or more of your classes to let the reader understand that it's not just that you're writing fancy stuff about theories, but you're actually doing this. You're practicing what you're preaching in your teaching philosophy. And another part that's really important is your goals as a teacher, and always connect that to student learning. People don't want to read something about, I like to be a good teacher. It's like, thank you so much. How does this connect to student learning? What do you hope to do as a teacher to improve student learning in your class? Okay? Always think that teaching is closely connected to student learning. If you talk about yourself as a good teacher without talking about student learning, as somebody who sat on hiring committees, I won't buy what you're saying. I want to see how this connects to student learning. This is the most important part that I'll be looking for in your teaching philosophy. Now, number 2 and 3, this is the easiest part of your portfolio because you already have these. For non-teaching students and GTAs and Angela and Anna, you all have this. Everything that you designed and where theory meets practice assignment, you'll just include here. If you have revised anything based on the feedback you received from me or from your lead instructor, please revise and include in your portfolio. Anna, for you, this means that anything you've designed for the Learning Center. Angela, you don't have to worry about that because you've done something different for that part, and the points for that part will go to your final reflection. So you're good here. Now, this part is the one I received some questions about. 2-unit syllabus for a first-year writing course. At AUM, we have 3 courses. We have English 0103, Introduction to Composition, 1010, English Comp 1, 1020, English Comp 2. For non-teaching students, you will choose a course other than the one you sat in this semester. So for example, many of you have worked in 1010 classes. This means that you will choose either 103 or 1020, or if you are choosing from a different university, something equivalent to any of these courses. If you have done 1020, then I expect you to do your course syllabus on 1010 or 103, and so on and so forth. Okay? Select any 2 units from the course. You'll see that I have all the under program documents on Blackboard. You have all our curriculum materials, so you can choose the one that you want. I prefer that you choose 2 consecutive units, so you can show me the transition from one to the other, how you're going to include that or how you're going to work on that in your syllabus. But if you prefer like Unit 1 and Unit 3, I'm fine with that. It's totally your choice. So what I need to see in this is the one that's going to take you the most work, and that's why we are starting on this a little bit early. But after you have spent this entire semester sitting in classes, teaching, doing micro teaching, observing, or whatever, I think you'll have much better conceptualization of how to design your units. So I expect you I expect to see the objectives of each unit. You have our list of learning outcomes, so you can pick from these for the 2 units you are designing. Readings, I don't want to see the text, I just want to see the titles or the citation, that's it. Major assignments, 1-page assignment sheet for each. So if you have, for example, 2 units, I expect to have 2 major assignments, 1 for each unit, and I need 1-page assignment sheet for each. 1 in-class activity, that's it. That's it. I don't want to see a list of everything you'll be doing in that unit, because we all know by now, especially those newbie teaching folks, that you cannot structure your class syllabus or schedule or calendar for more than 3 or 4 weeks in advance, especially if you're still new. And I'm telling you, after all these years teaching, I still do my course calendar for undergrad courses in 5-week increments. So I do the first 5 weeks, and then the second 5 weeks, and then the last 5 weeks. I don't do that with grads because normally I know what I'm doing and it's easy to adjust without confusing grad students. And then 1 brainstorming or drafting activity. Again, whatever you decide, whatever you choose, I just need the activity, 1 paragraph description plus explanation. And this is what I'm going to say here. For all the explanation, whenever I'm talking about explanation in the portfolio, I'm talking about how this is grounded in our theories, how this is based on the best pedagogies we've been reading about. Not explanation like, I'd like for students to do so and so. Perfect. Why? Remember the why question we started this semester with in the theory and pedagogy unit. Okay, so you can include a simple schedule outlining each unit by week. So it's like unit 1 is going to take us 4 weeks. This is what we're going to do in week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just brief information. I don't want details here. Okay. Final reflection on your experience and learning throughout the semester. Again, this is one of the key components of your portfolio. I'd like to see you bringing everything together in this piece. Between the course readings, between your classroom experience, between your prior knowledge to coming to this class, I want you to bring it all together here. Okay, I expect you to make references to course and or external readings and to give examples from your work. So if you say that I've learned to do so and so, or this has changed my approach to doing so and so, give me one example to support what you're saying. Okay, and then if you have any other supporting materials, if you have an email from your lead instructor, if you have something from a student, if you have something from the Learning Center, anything that supports, and again, think about this as a building block for your teaching portfolio in the future, feel free to add these materials. And this is a timeline. The most important thing for me is we're going to do peer review and feedback from me on your statement of teaching philosophy and the 2-unit syllabus, just to make sure that you are on track, you get the support you need, you get good feedback that helps you revise your materials and make sure that you have a good and outstanding portfolio. Okay, so I hope I've covered everything you needed to know about this assignment, but I'll be happy to answer any more questions. Drop them in Slack, in the messages, or in the question channel, or just email me if you still have any questions. Okay, see you in Slack.